coach an agent. I'll call him Dave. And he's been paying for Claude for about 8 months. That's right, I just said 8 months. Last month he told me it wasn't working for him. He's still been writing his own listing descriptions, still building his own comps, and still spending Sunday night pulling together seller updates by hand to be able to send out. So I asked him to share his screen and to show me how he was actually using Claude. He opened a blank chat, typed a question, copied the answer, and then closed the tab again. And that was it, the whole thing. So for 8 months, he's just been chatting with AI. Now, I told Dave there was more. More than once, in fact, I told him that. But he was in the middle of a busy season and he didn't have time to go learn new things. You know what that's like. How many of you are thinking to yourself, I don't have time to learn new things? But here's what I also know. We told him wrong. Meryl and I handed him a list of projects, skills, Cowork, connectors, Claude and Chrome. Yeah, here you go, Dave, pick one. And so, well, that's kind of how everybody explains it. And then it shows up like a menu. And what happens is you don't pick anything and you stay exactly where you started. It's not a menu, it's a ladder. And you already know this ladder because you've hired someone before. Day one, your new assistant asks you a question, and so you answer it. You don't hand over your logins on day one. You hand over one little thing, and each week, as they earn it, you hand over more. That's all this is. Every rung is handing you over a little more of the work. Rung 1, you're chatting. You still do everything, it answers. Rung 2, projects. It starts to remember you. By rung 3, the connectors, it's getting its own information. And rung 4, skills. It knows the procedure. Rung 5, Cowork. It's working while you're out on an appointment. And rung 6 is your Claude and Chrome. It runs the tools that you run. 6 rungs, bottom to top, and that's the whole map. Now, there's one more thing, and it doesn't sit on the ladder at all. It kind of leans against it. It's called Claude Design. Think about what a ladder is actually for. You climb it to build the house. Everything we just talked about is the construction, the framing, the math, the numbers, all of that. Claude Design is more like the finish work. It's the paint, the siding, the trim. And I want to be careful about how I say this because finish work can sound like it's optional, like it might be nice to have when there's time. And that's not what it is because nobody buys a house with no siding on it. And no seller reads a market update that looks like a wall of text. The construction is what makes it true. The finish work is what makes somebody actually want it. Here's why I'm telling you this in the first video instead of the last one. Design doesn't ask you to hand over more work. So you can actually reach it from anywhere in the ladder, including the rung that you're standing on right now. You don't have to climb first to get there. Okay, back to the ladder. Here's the thing about a ladder. You don't get to the top by picking one rung. Almost every genuinely useful thing Meryl and I build uses several rungs at once. A skill sitting inside of a project, pulling from a connector, running in Cowork. That's not advanced. That's just what it looks like when it's all working together. Which means the order matters, and you can't skip to rung 5. If you've watched some of our build videos, you've already seen several of these pieces stacked together. But if Claude is mostly new to you, and if you're still on rung 1, this is the series where we want you to start. Let's talk about rung 1, because that's where you are right now. And I want to be really clear about something. Rung 1 is not necessarily bad. Last Tuesday, I had a seller who was kind of upset about a lowball offer. So, opened up chat, told Claude exactly what happened, and a few seconds later, I had a plan of attack on how to walk into that conversation. We went from offended to constructive. We put together a counteroffer. That's all rung 1. And it's genuinely useful. Here's the ceiling. That conversation, Claude doesn't remember it. Next time that same seller has a problem, I'm going to have to start all over. Who I am, what market I work in, what we already talked about, what brokerage am I in, what's my voice, my brand, everything, every single time. Ask a question, copy the answer, close the tab. Now I'm just like Dave. And that's chatbot thinking. Rung 1 works. It's just the bottom rung. And most agents, well, what we see is they're just not finding out that there's a second or a third or a fourth or a fifth. One more thing before we go. The ladder keeps going past 6. There's a whole world of Claude built for people who write software. That's a different ladder in a different building. Get to rung 6 and you'll be ahead of almost every agent in this country. You don't even need rung 7. So here's what we're going to do. 6 rungs plus the finish work, a total of 7 videos. What each one is, why it matters, and where it fits. I'm going to keep the jargon out. I'm going to keep the setup guides out, just the map. So when you're ready to go actually build something on one of these rungs, we do have the videos for that as well. Here's your take it and run challenge. And you can do this before the next video. Open a blank chat like you normally would. But before you type your question, write down every single thing you had to explain to Claude first. Your market, your brokerage, your price point, who your client is, and how you talk. That list you just wrote, you're going to be typing it again tomorrow and the day after that. That list is actually your project, which is rung 2. And it takes about 4 minutes to set up. It's the difference between Claude being a search bar and Claude being someone who already knows you. Dave is on rung 2 now. This is the Claude Ladder. Follow this playlist and let's get you past chatbot thinking. Now, take it and run.